Welcome back to Four Faces. Today we're going to talk about, or I should say continually talk about, the possible hiring freeze that's happening at this particular company. Now, you look at my previous videos, I talk about other companies that already started the process of laying off, such as Twitter, Facebook, Ford. You get the point. Take a look at those other videos. And we're going to keep doing this. We like talking about this stuff as far as when we say like, we don't mean like, oh, this is a great thing, but we like to bring this to you so you have information. Because, you know, the media is all caught up with all this other stuff happening with Trump and you know, elections and all. But that doesn't really affect you or me, right? What affects you or me is whether or not we're going to have a good Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's. That affects us more than anything else. So with that being said, I do want to give you some information here. Something called WARN. WARN is basically a worker adjustment and retaining notification. This is basically an enactment that states that if a company have more than 100 employees, they are required within 60 days to give you notification that they will have a layoff. Now, there's a catch-22, of course. What would this be without some type of catch to it? The catch is very simple. If the company has some type of unforeseen consequences, they don't have to notify. If there's some type of natural disaster, they don't have to notify. So there are unfortunately, some bad sides to this, right? And another thing is that you cannot recoup any type of financials from this. In other words, there's really no type of enforcement that's being applied to this enactment. It's kind of just a piece of paper in a sense, but at least it gives the company some type of, hopefully, moral ground to do the right thing. With that being said, Apple, Tim Cook, he's doing a so-called hiring freeze. Now, there's an interview he's going to be doing this week from CBS, and he talks about the direction of the company of Apple, and you can take a look at that. But here's the thing. The way he worded it is like, oh no, we're not going to do a hiring freeze. We're going to be planning accordingly, very carefully on where we hire. That's a bunch of bull. That's That's business talk. The bottom line is that they're going to do a hiring freeze, point blank, period. Tim Cook don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it for you, Tim Cook. You're going to do a hiring freeze. It's as simple as that. Because, you know, you got to understand the reason why Apple is not coming right out and say, oh yeah, Tim Cook, by the way, was the CEO of Apple. The reason why he ain't coming straight out and say, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to do a hiring freeze. The reason why he's not doing it, because you got to remember, Apple was supposed to represent what? The people, right? It's supposed to show that we're with the people, we're for the people, we're here to, you know, comfort them. If you just announce, imagine if Apple just came out and said, yo, we're going to be laying off a couple of people. You know how that will look? Do you know the ripple effect that would have? A company such as Apple talking about, oh, we're going to lay off? Man, you talk about a domino effect, it'll be crazy. It will get horrible. It really would. So to stifle something like that from happening, Apple nicely says, no, we're still going to be hiring. Yeah, we're going to still be hiring. We're just going to be, you know, hiring in certain areas. Nah, you're going to be laying off. You're going to be at least minimum hiring freeze. You definitely going to do a minimum, you're going to be hiring freeze. There's no ifs, ands about that. And you know what? When you really think about it, this should be no surprise to anybody. What's happening now with the interest rates going high, right? You got the interest rates going high. We're talking about like 7%. The Federal Reserve is getting ready to increase the rates again, right? In December December next month. It's November now, my bad, right? They're going to increase the rates. So you can already see the writing on the wall. The more the rates go up, think about it. People have less money to borrow, to buy things, right? So it comes without saying. But for Apple to kind of smooth it over a little bit, I guess that's business talk. It's a brand they're trying to keep. So I can relate to that and I can understand why they would do that. But I'm just letting you know ahead of time that if you work at Apple, well, you should be okay for now because we're going into the holiday season. And the fact that we go into the holiday season, you know, I think it's less likely they will want to eliminate jobs, or I should say layoffs. Let me be nice about it, right? But the hiring freeze, I could definitely see that. Now, as far as that's concerned, they didn't say what departments that that's going to be affected. They never mentioned that. He never mentioned that. And I looked at a little bit of the CBS interview. He never mentioned that where at. He just said, and we're going to be looking at basically the whole company as a whole and seeing what the outlook's going to be. Because keep in mind, Apple is struggling as well as far as things are concerned, because you have, I don't know if you know this or not, but in China, one of the main factories are going through some troubles with Foxconn. And what's happening is that, China has still got that strict COVID policy. Like, yo, we shutting this down. If there's any COVID people in here, we're shutting this down. Or guess what? You can't leave the plant. So what happened, the news didn't really talk about this, but I'm going to tell you right now, what happened was in Foxconn, there was a COVID case, COVID-19 we're talking about. You might say, hold on, we still doing COVID? Yeah, other parts of the world is still doing COVID. And China is definitely still doing COVID. And keep in mind, in China, that's where a lot of our products come from. You know that already. That's nothing new. No one should be surprised about that. But here's the thing. When you get a COVID case in China in a factory, what happens is the employees are not allowed to leave. So what happened was once people heard the whispers of someone possibly got COVID, people start leaving the factory. People just start leaving the factory because they was like, I'm not getting stuck in this factory. No. I gotta go feed my babies. I gotta go take care of, things at home. So people just start leaving the factory. So it's sad. I mean, it's just crazy that this is happening at this point in time, and we still going through these motions here. But I just let you know, guys, ahead of time, what's going down. We'll keep talking about this. We'll keep talking about the possible layoffs, what we can do, some of the laws that's enacted that can possibly help you. And like I said, we're here in Four Faces. We don't like to talk about the problems. We also like to talk about solutions. So keep this in mind. If for any reason you get laid off, the first step, you probably know these steps already, but I'm saying it's just to confirm what you possibly already know. And just bring some comfort to you. That the first thing is, go to unemployment, get your unemployment up. You also, if you have any type of pension plan, you can remove some money from that. Keep in mind, you might get taxed for it. I shouldn't say you might, you will get taxed on that. So keep that in mind. If you got your savings, your checkings, things like that, you could start, making sure you stack up on there and pull out money accordingly. Take a look at your finances, see how that look. Educate yourself, bring yourself into an updated marketplace, increase your value through education. You're always going to increase your value through education. Just make sure you pick a particular field that is going to help you out and not going to put you more in debt.